Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of our Minecraft 1.16 Let's Play. So glad to have you here, and thank you for tuning in. Hope today has been treating you well so far. Today, we're going to be working on some odds and ends because I realized in the last episode that, even though I asked which project we should work on, there's going to be a lag in the comments. I should have thought of that beforehand, but in any case, we're going to get started on a couple of things. As you can see, Cook is here to join us and judge us. What do you think, Cook? What should we work on today? Okay. What we're going to try and do today is work on the spiral staircase a little bit and see if we can just get back our enchanting room. Oh, now you think it's a good idea. And just go from there. I may also start modernization of the diamond mine, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough materials to do that whole project today, but if we don't finish it in a single episode, that's okay too. But before we get started on these, I did mention in the last episode that I want to make a small map of our island and maybe put it back here. So let's go ahead and give that a try. Oh, another one. Shale! How long have you been out here? Oh my goodness. Well, aren't you lucky that I was out there? Ah, okay. Hey, that's cool. You can see the underwater tunnel. Very nice. I did not plan that out. But yeah, once we extend it out to that way, and then also to the ocean monument, that'll look pretty cool. The island looks so lush from above. This one looks a little weird, but that's alright. Given that the project board is 3x2, it really wouldn't fit over there, so I think this is a fitting place for it, especially since we took down the previous project board. But yeah, alright. So I got a little bit of a head start because I am just so tired of this. Look at this. Hit my head and then like go around, spiral staircase, and then yes, it goes there, but just going up it also is not fun either. But in any case, I was thinking of moving this spiral staircase over to this area. As you can see, I've already cleared this out a little bit. These hoppers just connect to a chest on the surface, and then this is the back of the map wall that we have on the other side in the main, I guess you could call it a vestibule. This breaks out to here, and so you can just be in the main room here. Whereas this also, you can see the passageway down to the basement and storage level. Added some windows here, they look okay, but a little bit of an odd room. I'm not sure what to put here, and glowstone does look a little bit odd, doesn't it? I'm thinking in the future, this can be replaced with just regular smooth sandstone, and we can use just glow item frames for that main room over there. But for now, that's a nice little hallway, and I'll play around with this in between episodes, I think. In terms of this spiral staircase, I'm running into the same problem where it's just an awkward descent given the number of blocks and the amount of space we have. So I have this diagonal thing, and it's okay, because what I envision here is another minecart system or a continuation of that. Let's just call this another station. And this will be sending us to the villager trading hall, as well as what I envision is ultimately an alchemist island out to the northwest in that direction. That's what I have planned for this space here. But all that to say, if we run down here, it's kind of clashing with that. But the main thing we want to access from this side is really a way down to the storage unit. So I'm not thrilled with it, so I think I'm just going to keep working on it off camera and then see what I can come up with. The descent is okay, it's pretty even, but ideally I would want it to kind of just pop us out right there. Yeah, I definitely mined all this out and made this extra room. I'm not sure what we could put here, but hey, more room in the base is always a welcome addition, no? And then yeah, I just really want to replace the enchanting table, maybe see if I can make it a little more decorative while I'm at it, but yeah, we'll just see. I'll work on a lot of stuff off camera this time around. But yeah, I thought this was a nice little addition, and this is where we are right now. Alright, I'll get to work, and I'll see you after the cut. Alright, it's the next day, and I've made some progress on the stairwell. I've taken out this stairwell because I finally got the other one working after a lot of building and trial and error, and here it is. I think it's a great improvement compared to before. So what I did is I gave this a little more detail by carving out a little bit in the back, and this doesn't really affect the exterior. There's a little bit of a more gradual slope, but it still looks okay. This is still unsightly, but that's okay for now. Oh yeah, I also replaced this block with lapis lazuli. Let me know how it looks. It's just a nice way to change up the color here. In any case, so what I did is I ultimately just decided on this spiraling pattern. Everything I tried to do with slabs felt really awkward descending, whereas this feels pretty optimal, I would say. I added a lot of foliage because there's this water feature here, which could be like a natural aquifer. And lore-wise, perhaps this water has been flowing for a long time in the cave, and it slowly eroded this portion, so which is why we have this carved out support right here, which I thought was a nice little detail. It's tough to add greenery in 1.16. There's not a ton of elements like moss carpet or the drip leaf. There's not the drip leaf plants that we can incorporate either, but I think I did the best I could. There's a little bit of water here, not only for aesthetic purposes, but if you want to go down real quick, you can do it like that, so it doubles as a water drop. A little bit of storage here, and then also, a nice little detail that I thought was added was these chests here. And I plan to store ice in these because before refrigerant technology was invented, one could use streams and waterfalls as a way to naturally refrigerate perishables. So say you had a water stream going out, if you dug behind this and made a hole and sealed that, the water flowing over that space would act as a natural refrigerant because it's a heat sink, and so it would cool that space such that it would remain a low temperature. So I thought this was a nice little throwback to the history of that. In any case, so I would say this area is now done, and so now we are free to go to town here. So this entire wall will ultimately be identical to this passageway here. Maybe we can make it a little larger than, I guess this is 3x3, but yeah, we can most certainly incorporate it over here. Yeah, or we could just keep it 3x3. I don't know. I don't really want to perturb the space of this, I guess, pathway here. We have this platform back here, and honestly, it's never been used since we built it. So what I was thinking is if there is some way to connect the tracks such that we could go around here and go all the way around the storage area and it would connect over there to a station, that would be pretty cool. But that's going to be a lot of work, so I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it in this episode, but it's something I thought of and can kind of work on the side. Oh yeah, also, these are not aligned. I never noticed that. So I'm definitely going to fix that, and then carve out this glass area and maybe start the tunnel. I don't know. We're not going to finish the tunnel, certainly in this episode, but for sure, we're going to have one long term there. And then ideally replace the enchanting table as it was here before. A time-tested building trick. Use stairs both on the top and the underside. Thank you, Korean. But yeah, that's what I got. I'll get to work on this and then maybe also repair my tools because they've seen better days. Sorry this is kind of becoming a chores episode. I just wanted to get stuff done and take it easy in this episode. Feeling a little bit tired and fatigued. Hopefully I'm not coming down with something, but yeah. Who was that? Shale. Okay. Oh yeah, I don't really know what to do with this area. I'm really at a loss because we don't have any maps that are big enough to put here, and for the time being, I don't really think that we can do anything with this. But if anybody has any ideas for what we could put in this space, I'm all ears. So feel free to comment below if you have any cool ideas. Any at all. Okay. I'll repair the tools, work on this, and then report back. But as of now, that's done. Wahoo! So to start off the build, I quickly fixed that embarrassing support pillar mistake. I still can't believe that all 4 supports were perfectly one block off center from their top level counterparts. And then, after taking it apart and filling back in that floor indent, I noticed that the pillars were smushed into the wall and accordingly widened the space by 1 block in order to better accentuate these supports. Correspondingly, this adjustment came with a tad bit of flooding, but that's okay because the water was not a problem over in this very empty corner. I put some glass in the corner wall as sort of a shoddy short-term window for now, but we'll definitely need to revisit that section at another time. Making that window look good will likely require some ocean terraforming in order to improve that view, as well as some rearrangement of the coral reef outside in order to better accommodate placement and viewing of that space. Outside the base, I just barely started the platform for the future tunnel. The local drowned were once again giving me a ton of hassle, and I figured it would be best to hold off on any proper construction of the passageway Until this build was better planned out. Measure twice, cut once, right? Finally, I went about restoring the enchanting table. As you can see, I originally started to reconstruct the old design, where the table was the centerpiece within a lowered floor. This was immediately scrapped because I recalled that falling into that area around the table was a really annoying problem. Instead, I made the entire area flat and built bookshelves around the enchanting table in a much more orthodox fashion. Similar to the natural Aquifer stairwell area, I adorned the bookshelves with acacia leaves and potted plants to give the space a more relaxed feel. And finally, in order to make the area a tad more lively, I decided to make a dual floor and ceiling aquarium and populated it with the rest of our tropical fish. Well, that's something you don't see every day. Okay, so as you saw from that time lapse, I made some pretty good progress. And I also did a little bit more on the side off camera. So as you can see, I decided to keep up this lush green element of the cave, incorporating it into the enchanting room. Other than removing the chest, I didn't modify too much else in this area. In order to remove the chest, I did replace it with these barrels, so we have all the items in there now. I do like that the fish are down there. They are able to move around a lot, and they tend to group together, so I like how that turned out. So moving on to the hallway behind us, I decided to decorate this a little bit, adding a loom here, as well as this cartography table. With regards to the glowstone in the wall, I decided that since the total area of the mushroom map is about 12 maps, it would fit perfectly here. And then for the glowstone that's kind of peeking out on the sides here, you can cover this with paintings, which is something I hadn't thought of, and it turned out pretty good. Over here, just some loom materials for future banner making, which I do have a plan for making a custom banner that signifies our islands over here. But to do that, we're going to have to find a golden apple, and not just any golden apple, the enchanted golden apple. So that'll be something we can do in subsequent episodes, but for now, this will suffice for decoration of this area. Just added a couple of carpets here, and for this literal hole in the wall, I decided to keep this passageway open and adding a slab here so we don't have to jump to get in. So this can be kind of a makeshift passageway through the back of the base. For this stairwell, I realized that these should be behind the waterfall, not in front of it. I guess I was thinking that because they're still in contact with the heatsink, it would work, but this would be far more efficient. I have yet to put the ice there, but yeah, that's what I intend to store in that back area. This was adjusted a little bit to account for the inability to light this lower area, so that's that. And then finally, this area remains more or less unchanged. Now there's this passageway, which will later become the tunnel to the Alchemist continent. And unlike the aquarium we built in the last episode, you can see these pretty well, I would argue. So that's good. But yeah, that's what I did here. I think overall it looks pretty cool, especially when the shaders are turned on, but I guess that's true for most things with the shader. With regards to what we can do for the rest of the episode, so what I was thinking is, yep, that's right, I was able to drain the entirety of the surrounding area for the Guardian farm. So the only areas that are waterlogged now are the chambers inside of the monument. So I was thinking I could go ahead and demo this for the remainder of the episode, as well as take out these quartz and lapis lazuli supports that were originally used just for measuring, as well as placing the gravel during the entire draining process. And so to commemorate this, I guess, this milestone, I was going to make a map of the completely drained thing after I remove these supporting blocks. And then after that, we are then poised to start construction on the actual farm itself. And for me personally, this is really, really important because there are a lot of things that I want to do in this world that require sea lanterns, as well as these blocks. I was thinking of using prismarine as one of the core building blocks for the Alchemist Island. And yeah, that just means we're going to need to farm a ton of these materials using the Guardians from the farm. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and do this. It can probably be a really short time lapse, since I know it's not terribly interesting. I'll go ahead and make the map, and then I can get started on leveling this out, and that'll be it for the rest of the episode. On second thought, I just wanted to show off the view here since I think it looks pretty cool with the monument all drained. There's only one ravine that spans underneath, and I did keep this intact. Certainly in the future, as this is developed more, this can be removed, but yeah. It's really impressive, the scale of this whole thing. And during the draining, there were multiple cave-ins, such as this, so those were also lit up to the best of my ability. Look at how cool this is at night with shaders. There's something majestic about it for sure. I also like that you can see the tunnel from afar. That's such a really cool detail. But overall, this area will most likely have to be leveled. The farm that I have in mind, I believe we only have to have the height at y equals 40, so actually right here. So the farm will kind of start with this as the base, and then we'll have a 2-pillar design. It's Iskal's farm, for those curious. And yeah, it'll just sit right in the center. And it should not take up a lot of room by my estimation, but we'll see once it's built and this is cleared out. Check that out, you can see the sunrise through the ocean. Oh yeah. The sheer scale of this is just incredible to me. And again, no elytra. And we didn't use redstone components either. Just all good old-fashioned block placing by hand. Not that that's something to write home about, but yeah. Just thought I'd give this a quick tour before I tear it all down. Yeah, I love that tunnel. So good. Alright, so I'll actually get to work now. I'll make the maps, and I'm not going to put this in the footage, so this will proceed straight to the time-lapse. If you want to skip that, that's totally okay. But if you want to watch this entire monument be taken down, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the time-lapse. Phew. And that's that. Feels a little wrong to tear down an ancient sea monument, but what's done is done. Goodbye, structure. So yeah, we're down here at our little base camp, and it's a bit moist, but it'll do for now. As you can see over there, I started to replace the base structure with quartz, but given that it was taking quite a bit longer than I expected, I'm just going to do this in between episodes since it's largely uninteresting, I would argue. But yeah, we have all the blocks here. It was fewer than I expected, to be honest, but it's been a while since I took down one of these. Yeah, during the time lapse, I realized I should have drained this whole thing beforehand, and not doing that up front kind of costed me about an hour and a half. In total, accounting for that additional hour and a half, this took 2 hours to fully disassemble and drain. So not too bad, and I definitely did it over multiple parts. Yeah, really big area. Ah, it feels so good to be done. And now that this entire perimeter has been lit up, there's been a lot of slime spawning, so I've been able to get quite a few slime balls, which has been a nice little surprise. But yeah, let's head back home to finish off the episode. That's right, I wanted to name you Coast. Why do you want to go that way? Stop. Alright, we got a lot done today. We already took down the fixing of the stairwell, and now we can take off Enchanting room area. And then, oh yeah, now we need to connect the mine tracks in the basement. And with the Guardian farm, I would say we are about 80% complete now. I'll just leave that there, but you know. I would say we didn't really construct a map room, we just placed another map, so we'll leave that on there as well. Alright, but aside from that, I think that just about does it. Sorry it's a little bit late. We certainly did a lot of little building in this episode, and I would say that both of them turned out really nice. Or I guess 3 of them, if we count this. By the way, I'm still not settled on having this here for long term, so if you have any ideas of what to put here, please feel free to comment below. Who's checking out our handiwork here? Cook? These chickens. For the next episode, I think we will start in earnest on constructing the Guardian farm and finally getting those desired materials at last. But with that, I think that about wraps it up. We've named that chicken. We're ready for the next episode. Well, I still gotta replace the base with quartz, but you know what I mean. And yeah, thank you as always for joining me on this and watching this far in the video. If you're still watching at this point and would like to support the channel, I would really appreciate if you left a like and subscribe. Certainly those things really help give motivation to continue this series and yeah, continue to make content. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care, and bye-bye for now.